"Can I share this table?" asked the disabled boy to the biker. What he did next is unbelievable. The diner went silent the moment the biker walked in. Leather vest heavy with patches, boots carrying the dust of a long road and a long life. Fear clung to the air like smoke. At the smallest table by the window, a disabled boy sat alone, hands trembling slightly as he gathered the courage to ask a question that would change everything. In a world trained to look away, one fragile moment was about to collide with a hardened soul, and neither of them knew that kindness was waiting right there between cracked vinyl seats and chipped mugs. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the quiet power of human connection, take a moment right now to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps stories like this reach hearts that need them most. The boy's name was Eli, though most people never bothered to learn it. He was 14, thin as a reed, his left leg twisted from birth, supported by a metal brace that clicked softly whenever he moved. The diner was his refuge after school, a place where the smell of fried onions drowned out the laughter he wasn't invited into, and where the waitress knew his order without asking. Eli came there not for food alone, but for the feeling of being surrounded by life, even if none of it touched him. That afternoon, the other booths filled quickly, and the only empty seat left was across from the biker. The biker was known in town, though never truly known. People whispered stories instead of names. They said he rode with dangerous men, that he had a temper, that he carried ghosts heavier than his machine. His face was lined not just by age but by loss, and his eyes had the distant look of someone who had seen too much and learned to feel too little. He sat alone by choice, always alone, because solitude was easier than disappointment. When Eli approached, balancing himself with careful steps, the room seemed to hold its breath. Eli's life had been a lesson in endurance. He had learned early that the world was not built for bodies like his. Sidewalks cracked, buses impatient, classmates cruel in ways they would later pretend to forget. His father had left when the medical bills piled too high, and his mother worked double shifts, coming home exhausted but still smiling like bravery was something you could practice. Eli learned to ask for very little. Asking to share a table felt like asking for the moon. The biker noticed the boy not because of the brace, but because of the courage it took to stand there unprotected. Something old and buried stirred inside him. Years earlier, he had been the one everyone crossed the street to avoid. He had worn anger like armor, believing it was the only thing keeping him alive. He had lost a brother on the road, lost a marriage to silence, lost himself somewhere between miles. He had stopped believing he could be anything other than what people feared. When Eli settled into the seat, the world did not end. The biker did not explode. Instead, something softer unfolded, slowly, like a fist unclenching after years of tension. They ate side by side in quiet, the kind of quiet that does not judge. The biker noticed how carefully the boy cut his food, how he tried to hide the shake in his hands. Eli noticed the biker's scars, the way his hands bore the marks of work and war with life. Without words, an understanding formed, built not on pity or fear but on recognition. Time moved differently at that table. The diner noise faded into a blur. The biker pushed his plate aside and listened with his eyes as Eli showed him a sketchbook filled with drawings of motorcycles, roads stretching into sunsets, places he dreamed of going but never thought he would. The biker felt something crack open in his chest. He had ridden those roads. He had chased freedom and found loneliness instead. Seeing the boy's dreams reflected back at him felt like being handed a mirror to his younger self. Before the mistakes, before the losses. Outside, rain began to fall, soft at first, then heavier, tapping against the windows like a reminder that the world kept moving whether you were ready or not. The biker reached into his vest and pulled out a small worn patch, one he had earned long ago but never sewn on. It symbolized brotherhood, protection, and loyalty, values he thought he had failed. He placed it gently on the table, sliding it toward Eli like a promise rather than a gift. The gesture did not fix Eli's leg or erase the years of isolation, but it changed something deeper. It told him that strength did not always look loud or perfect. It told him that even the most intimidating people could carry kindness like a secret treasure. The biker stood to leave, but not before paying for every meal in the diner, including the ones yet to be ordered by kids who came in alone, looking for a place to belong. When the door closed behind him, the diner exhaled. People returned to their conversations, but something lingered in the air, a warmth that hadn't been there before. Eli sat still, fingers brushing the patch, heart pounding with a feeling he had rarely known. He felt seen, not as a burden or a broken thing, but as a fellow traveler on a hard road. In the weeks that followed, the biker returned. Not every day, not even every week, but often enough that it became a quiet ritual. Sometimes he brought stories folded into silence. Sometimes he brought tools and helped fix the diner's broken steps, so Eli could enter more easily. Other bikers came too, rough men with gentle hands, donating ramps, repainting walls, transforming the place into something safer, kinder. The town watched, confused and humbled, as their assumptions unraveled. Eli grew taller, stronger in ways no brace could measure. He started speaking up in class, started believing that his dreams were not foolish. The biker, in turn, found himself smiling more, sleeping better, carrying fewer ghosts. Redemption did not arrive like a parade. It came quietly, seated at a small table by a window, shared between two souls who needed each other more than they knew. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that kindness can come from the most unexpected places, please take a moment to like the video, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to the channel. Your engagement helps keep these stories alive. Before this story ends, we have one special request for you. Please comment below and tell us what this moment meant to you, or share a time when a small act of kindness changed your life. Because sometimes the most unbelievable miracles are not loud or dramatic. Sometimes they are as simple as sharing a table, and as powerful as choosing to see the human being sitting across from you.